one thing that really helped me as a lucid dreamer, I got involved with a dream organization, the International Association for the Study of Dreams. And every year they would have, conferences and all. And also I would, I got involved in some various journals that talked about lucid dreaming. But I read about this guy, Ed Kellogg, and he brought up physical healing in lucid dreams. And that had never, ever occurred to me. And maybe it never occurred to me because I'm just naturally healthy and all that kind of stuff. But what happened to Ed is one day in waking life, he was eating a shish kebab and he punctured his tonsil. He was so enthusiastic, he put the shish kebab in his mouth and punctured his tonsil. And then his tonsil got infected. And so now he has these red lines going up and down his throat, and his throat is swelling up and everything. Yeah. And so the next day he decides that he's going to try to have either an OBE or a lucid dream and try to heal himself. So he becomes lucidly aware. He does some things in the lucid dream where he projects healing energy on his throat. And he said when he woke up, 90% of the pain was gone. And within a few hours, all the red stripes went away. And so he wrote this up and submitted it to a journal. And I read that and thought, wow, that's kind of cool. But then one time I met Ed at one of these conferences, and he told me about what happened to a friend of his. She was a woman who had horrible plantar warts on her feet.
Okay.
And she'd been trying for months to visualize these things to make them go away, but they were still there and they were just painful and all. And so Ed said to her, "You're a good lucid dreamer. Why don't you try to lucid dream to make them go away?" And so they talked about how to go about it. And later that week, she's asleep. She becomes aware in a dream. She realizes she's dreaming, stabilizes it. And so what she did, she created a ball of healing light between her hands in the lucid dream. And then she put that ball of healing light over each of her feet, intending for them to be healed of the plantar warts. And she said that when she woke up, all the plantar warts had turned black overnight. And within 10 days, they fell off and they never returned. And so this kind of shows you, that lucid dreaming healing can be quite powerful. The Buddhists say that, an action performed at the level of lucid dreaming is 7 times more powerful than one performed at the waking state. And I think that's because you're deep down in the unconscious. And when you really intend and energize something to happen, then it's much more likely to come to pass.
That's just amazing. Have you ever experienced it yourself firsthand?
I'll tell you. So again, I've been a relatively healthy person, and so I haven't had that many opportunities. But in my second book, Lucid Dreaming Plain and Simple, my co-author Carolyn McCready shares a wonderful story about lucid dream healing, and it shows one of the important lessons that an experienced lucid dreamer learns. So here's what happened. She had this horrible cold. She was living in London at the time, had this horrible cold. Her sinuses were all clogged. Her throat was all screwed up and all of that. So she wants to heal herself. So she falls asleep. She becomes lucidly aware. She remembers, oh yeah, I wanted to heal my throat or heal herself. But she announces in the lucid dream, now I send healing energy to my throat. And what happens is she wakes up and her throat is healed, but her sinuses are still full of snot and everything and all. So what she learned from that lucid dream was the importance of wording in your intent. Yeah. Wow. So if she had said, now, I heal my cold, the cold would have come to cease. But she just said she wanted to heal her throat. And her throat got healed, but not the rest of the cold symptoms. So that's an important thing when it comes to lucid dreaming. Your words really matter. The word choice you use, especially when it comes to something like healing, really matter. And so. But I will give you my own example, if you don't mind. I'm going to tell you about how I did something I call living lucidly. And so as a lucid dreamer, you see how important the unconscious is. You see how the principles of how it works, how the importance of belief and expectation. So in my waking life, I had what people call hay fever. So every August and September, apparently there's all this pollen in the air, and my sinuses would swell up and my throat would be bad and I could barely sleep and all. And so I thought, wait a second, I've written a book on healing yourself in lucid dreams, but I'm going to do it in the waking state. And so this is what I did. Every time I began to fear August and September coming because of hay fever, I'd tell myself, I'd be mindful. I'd say, no, not this year. And then I planted what I wanted to happen. This year, I'll breathe easily and naturally. So that was the process. Whenever I had the fear, I'd stop myself and say, no, not this year. This year, I'll breathe easily and naturally. And I'll tell you, by doing that for 3 or 4 months, when August and September came around, my symptoms declined about 70%. And then I kept doing it the next year, and that next year, the symptoms declined 90%, 95%. And now I don't have hay fever anymore.
Yeah.
Just because now I've told myself I'll breathe easily and naturally.
Yeah.
So you can use the ideas of what you discover in lucid dreaming, these sudden healings, and you can take those ideas that you have to just change your mind, and you can bring it into the waking state, and you can do it in the waking state just by being more mindful and putting in what you want to have happen.
Thanks for watching that clip. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and check out the full episode. All links are in the description. Be nice, be happy, be cool.